number 7, Christina Oahu. A 6'1" senior from Rockford, Michigan, middle blocker, number 12, Annie Holsinger. A 6'1" sophomore from Sugar City, Idaho, center, number 7. A 6'1" sophomore from Sugar City, Idaho, outside hitter, number 15, Katie Miller. A 5'10" freshman from Waterloo, Wisconsin, center, number 17, Sophia Schneider. The Bearcats are coached by Jeff Reynolds. He's assisted by Catherine Settle, Randall Mastos, and Joe Mastos. And now, here are the starters for your Flagler College Saints. A 5'9" freshman from Ocala, Florida, center, number 0, Amelia Fitzpatrick. A 6' junior from Onondaga Springs, Florida, middle blocker, number 6, Colby Stepakowski. A 6.
All right, sports fans, here we are. Welcome to Flagler Gymnasium and Clark Family Court. We have the Flagler Saints women's volleyball team taking on the Lander Bearcats all the way from Greenwood, South Carolina. It's a sunny day here in St. Augustine, Florida, but we're inside, have some nice air conditioning, and we're ready now for some women's volleyball Peach Belt Conference matchup between Lander and Flagler. Both teams on the court doing their respective huddles, as you can see. And it is just about time to get started. Lander on the year, looking at a record of 18-2 overall. They've won 14 in a row and are undefeated in Peach Belt Conference play. Flagler on the other side, sitting at a 5-12 record. They are now third in Peach Belt Conference play, sitting at 3-3. And they have won 2 in a row, coming off their wins against Georgia College and State University. We're just about set to go here in Flagler Gymnasium. Just waiting for the signal from the officials. The starters for the Bearcats of Lander, starting at libero, number 1, Patricia Pentoa. Number 4, Blondie Penaflor. Number 5, Lauren Dow. Number 7, Christina Owayo. Number 12, Annie Holsinger. 15, Katie Miller. And number 17, Sophia Schneider. On the other hand, for Flagler, Amelia Fitzpatrick, Colby Stemkowski, Audrey Simmons, Molly Boyd, Jordan Berglund, Edie Lamoureux, and Cecilia Robert. And on the first serve of the game from Fitzpatrick, it's an ace, and Flagler's going to go up 1-0. So Fitzpatrick gets the scoring started early. She will serve again. And it's hit over. Schneider hits it. Played nicely by Stemkowski. Lander hits it over Robert. Fitzpatrick, and Berglund's just going to set it over. That's going to be played nicely by Katie Miller. And now Flagler getting it over. Long rally here. And the point's going to go to Lander, as they're going to say Berglund reached over. She disagrees. She's saying she wasn't even close. It was a close play on the court from our angle, but yeah, she really doesn't believe that she did. It's all right, though. Going to have to get that point back if you're the Saints. So now the first one to serve for the Bearcats, number 5, Lauren Dow. Dow hits it over, played nicely by Berglund. Fitzpatrick back to Berglund, spikes it into the ground. Beautiful kill right at the feet of Pentoa. Yeah, Berglund, number 1 on the team in kills. She has 183 coming into the game tonight on her career 723, leads all current Saints players. And she'll be the one to serve here. Over to Pantoa. Dow sets it up nicely for Miller, but a nice play by Fitzpatrick. This one for Robert. Pantoa plays it. And Fitzpatrick sets it up for Stemkowski, and a nice defensive play by Lander, letting that one go. And we're back to all knotted up, this time at 2 apiece. It'll be Katie Miller on the serve now for Lander. Miller serve. It's an over, nice play by Berglund. Fitzpatrick over to Robert, and a beautiful shot. It gets blocked by Lauren Dow. Lauren Dow, the superstar for the Lander Bearcats. Dow coming into the game, 247 assists, and her sister Olivia, 372. Boy, oh boy, are they quite a duo. So the serve goes up, played nicely. Miller down to number 12, Annie Holsinger, and Boyd blocks it. But it goes out of bounds, so it's going to be a point for the Bearcats. And Pantoa, the libero, will be the one to serve once again. And Lamoureux lets it go. They're going to say it went out. Beautiful read by Lamoureux. She let it go right at the last second. And Flagler regains the lead at 4-3 as Lainey Mack checks into the game, the southpaw on the serve. So Mack with that left hand hits it over nicely, and it is misplayed by Katie Miller. Another point for the Saints, and that makes it a 5-3 game. Mack recently had a double-double against UC Aiken on September 30th, also recorded a season-high 13 digs. She has been phenomenal, the young freshman. However, there hits one into the net, and that's going to be a free point for Lander. So we see Sophia Schneider, number 17, check back into the game. She will be the one to serve. Schneider, a freshman from Waterloo, Wisconsin. And there's the first ace of the day for the Bearcats. Just a miscommunication there, it looked like, from Robert, and Berglund. And Schneider will be the one to serve once again. Schneider over the net. Berglund plays it. It goes over, and they're going to let that go. Very nice read by Pantoa. And just like that, 2 quick points for the Lander Bearcats, and they are doing a little two-step over there on the bench to celebrate. And Lander, the force to be reckoned with in Peach Belt Conference play. Like we said, undefeated and have an 18-2 record overall. Max sets it up for Boyd, but a very nice play by Schneider, and Pantoa hits it over, but Lamoureux with a nice play. Mack up to Berglund, and a nice play by Pantoa. Can Miller get it back? She can. Pantoa gets it over. My goodness, what a play. Lamoureux to no, Boyd, it's blocked, but this Lander defense is phenomenal, but they're going to hit it into the net. Looks like it went off of Blondie Penaflor, the junior from Henderson, Nevada. So some very nice rallies early on. Hey, Flagler keeping pace, trying to make up some ground in Peach Belt Conference play. And this will be the first that we see from Brooke Singleton on the serve. Hits it to Pantoa. Dow up to Penaflor, and and a miscommunication. Pantoa and Ohio didn't know what to do. Ohio hit it at the last second, and it's going to be a point for the Saints. They'll retake the lead at 7-6. So Brooke Singleton back on the serve. Hits it over nicely. Pantoa over to Dow. And Miller, a nice dig by Lamoureux. And Fitzpatrick hits it into the hands of Schneider, goes into the crowd, and someone's going home with a souvenir tonight. And Flagler will add to their lead. It's now an 8-6 game, or set, So Pantoa plays it. Dow. And a very nice shot by Ohio, but an even better dig by Lamoureux. And Berglund, just got under it a little too much, and she's going to hit it over the line. And there's a point for the Bearcats. You can tell the Bearcats very fundamentally sound. We're seeing already some long rallies early. Flagler's just trying to keep pace. You know Lander's not going to make a lot of mistakes, so going to have to bring your A game against the folks from Greenwood. And a nice play there as Singleton to Mack. Over to Fitzpatrick, a beautiful kill there for Amelia Fitzpatrick, who this week was actually named the Academy Bus Athlete of the Week, following her 6 aces in the win over Georgia College and State University. That was one off the Flagler single-game record, so very nice job by the freshman from Ocala. It'll be Edie Lamoureux on the serve. Lamoureux hits it to her respective libero, Pantoa. They're setting it up nicely for Miller, and Lamoureux another very nice dig. Mack sets it up for Berglund. Lamoureux with a great save. And Fitzpatrick hits it over. Mack going to set it up for Stemkowski. Ooh, barely get it over, but they are able to. And a great block by Stemkowski. Miller is everywhere for the Bearcats, and so is Lamoureux. Unfortunately, she hits it to the right and out of bounds. And the Bearcats will get the point. They will be the ones to serve now with Blondie Penaflor, the one on the serve. So 9-8 Saints here in the first set. Penaflor with the serve. Hits it into the net, and there's the first serving error for Lander, something they don't do that much. And there's a point for Flagler, so that'll make it 10-8. Amelia Fitzpatrick will be on the serve, like we said, the Academy Bus Player of the Week. And a very nice shot. A lot of power on that one to Pantoa. They set up Miller, and Katie Miller. Man, she has a powerful, powerful kill there. And she's going to be someone to watch here today. You can tell Flagler's going to have their hands full with Katie Miller. So it'll be Lauren Dow on the serve. The freshman from Pickens, South Carolina, hits it over, and it goes out of bounds. Great read by Brooks Singleton, and Flagler gets the point. They will serve once again. We're seeing Robert and Cassidy Bloom check into the game. Cassidy Bloom will be the one to serve. Bloom, a sophomore from Naples, Florida, transferred from the University of Albany, and we're happy to have her here in St. Augustine, Florida. So Bloom is set, hits it over, Pantoa, nice play, Dow hits it up, and that's to her sister, and it's a beautiful block there by Audrey Simmons, the junior from Northampton, New Hampshire. So we talked about, real briefly, Lauren Dow. She has a sister, Olivia, for the Bearcats, so that's a nice little tandem to watch. And Bloom with the serve just barely gets it over, and there's an ace. A beautiful shot right in the corner. Pantoa didn't really have much to do with that one. She just barely hits it, goes out of bounds, and another point for Flagler. They're up 13-9 now, and Bloom will serve again. So Bloom hits it over. Miller plays it up. Dow back to Miller. Oh, and she plays it nice and softly, and nice block, and that time there is nothing Edie Lamoureux can do there. That's a beautifully placed shot by Katie Miller. And speaking of Katie Miller, she will be the one on the serve for the Bearcats, a sophomore from Sugar City, Idaho. Hey, shout out the Kibbe Dome. Fitzpatrick back to Robert, and Miller just barely gets her hands on it. Dow to her sister, and it's blocked nicely by Robert. And Robert, such a spark plug. She gets real high in the air whenever she's going for a block or a kill. And now we'll see Ella Wicker check into the game. Another freshman. She's from Woodstock High School in Woodstock, Illinois. Very nice play by Robert. Fitzpatrick to Simmons. But played nicely there. It's going to be, a very nice shot by Christina Awayo. Just barely goes off the hands of Wicker, and it'll be a point for the Lander Bearcats. So it'll be Patricia Pantoa on the serve here for Lander. Pantoa gets it over. Oh, miscommunication, but Robert does play it. And Simmons just has to get it over. So it'll be Dow to Pantoa. And Awayo hits it out, and that's a point for the Saints. As Lainey Mack checks back into the game and will be the one to serve. Yeah, we talk about Lainey Mack a lot, a bit of a spark plug for the Saints from Louisville, Kentucky, graduate of Sacred Heart Academy, and we are happy to have her on the team. Katie Miller over to Dow. And Miller hits it out, and a very nice read there by Cassidy Bloom. And it's another point for the Saints. Oh, excuse me, they're going to say that went in. I don't know about that one, but they have a better view than I do. So it'll actually be a point for the Bearcats and Sophia Schneider on the serve. So Bloom able to hit it up for Lainey Mack, down to Robert, and a very nice defensive play by Lander. But Pantoa is not there in time. She's not able to get that free ball over. And it's going to be a point for the Saints as they now lead 16-12. And Cecilia Robert will be the one to serve. Robert, a junior from San Juan, Puerto Rico, hits it over. Miller to Dow, over to Ohio. And a nice play by Robert to save that one. Mack up to Berglund, and there's nothing Schneider can do about that. And the freshman getting a wake-up call to what Peach Belt Conference play is really like. And who else? Jordan Berglund, the superstar for the Flagler Saints. She's 4th in the Peach Belt in kills, and she showed you right there what she's capable of. So Robert on the serve again. Setting up Ohio again, and they're going to give the point to Lander right on the line. A nice shot by Ohio. They're trying to set her up early and often. And she will be the one to serve now. 17-13, Flagler leads here in the first set. Ohio bounces the ball. She hits it over. Berglund gets nice and low. Very nice play. Lainey Mack. Oh, Fitzpatrick with a nice play, but it's returned nicely. And Boyd jumped a little early, but was still able to play it. And Miller, hits it into Fitzpatrick. And they are going to give the point to the Saints. They're going to say she didn't go over. It's a clean block. And it's now Flagler 18, Lander sitting at 13. Boy, if you're Flagler, you really want to get out to an early lead. Put the pressure on Lander early, because once Lander gets up, they usually do not give up the lead. Oh, and a very nice play by Blondie Penaflor. And that's going to be a point for Lander. And just like that, Lander can come back real quick. Like we said, 18-2, undefeated in conference play. They are the standard in the Peach Belt Conference. Oh, and a very nice play by Berglund. Mack to Stemkowski, but it's played nicely by Ohio. Dow, and a very nice play, a tag team effort by Stemkowski and Jordan Berglund. And the Saints are now up 19-14. As Audrey Simmons will check back into the game, Amelia Fitzpatrick will be on the serve. And the Flagler bench laying down, doing some sort of psych out and an ace. Amelia Fitzpatrick, we talked about how she's the player of the week. Hey, let's keep it rolling, and we're going to see an early timeout from head coach Jeff Reynolds of the Bearcats, trying to calm his girls down here in St. Augustine. Before we let you go, we want to thank some of our presenting sponsors today. First, KB Home, built on relationships. Hey, if you need to build a home, no one better than KB Home. In addition, we want to shout out Liberty Data, faster, safer, and smarter business solutions, in addition to Pink Stork, the wellness brand for women. We'll take a time out here at Flagler Gymnasium with the score 20-14 here in the first set. Flagler is in the lead. All right, folks, we're back here in Flagler Gymnasium. The score 20-14 in the first set. Flagler leads. You can hear Axl Rose in the background fading away as we get back into the first set. Amelia Fitzpatrick waiting for the referee signal. They give it to her. And Fitzpatrick on the serve. Nice play by Pantoa. Dow over to Miller. A beautiful block by Stemkowski. Pantoa back to Miller. You know they want to feed her early and often, but she doesn't get it over. And that's a point for the Saints. 21-14. And hey, Amelia Fitzpatrick, she is going on a little run here. Much needed early on for the Saints. 21-14. The Flagler bench, some binoculars. Very fun. Nice play by Ohio. They set it up. Oh, and an easy point there for Annie Holsinger, the senior from Rockford, Michigan, transfer from Grand Rapids Community College. And, boy, they're trying to get her set up early, and she got up very nicely, and there was nothing the Flagler defense could do about that. So now we'll see Lauren Dow, the freshman, on the serve. Gets it over to Berglund. Lamoureux is going to set it up back to Berglund. They're just going to try and get it over, but it's blocked. Fitzpatrick back to Berglund, free balls it over. And Dow sets up her sister, and it's blocked and goes out of bounds, however. So it's going to be a point for the Bearcats as we see Lauren and Olivia Dow tag teaming to take down the Saints on that point. So Lauren Dow back on the serve. And Robert plays it. Might have been going out. Oh, and then that was just too easy for Holsinger. It looked like a little bit of confusion for Flagler there. Robert wasn't sure if she should let it go or not. And then the front line for Flagler just kind of stayed still. So, hey, Lander just hanging around here in the first set. 21-17. Dow with another serve. Berglund gets low, digs it out. Fitzpatrick back to Berglund. Hits it softly over for Dow. Pantoa back to Olivia Dow, but nicely blocked. Fitzpatrick plays it to Lamoureux. And Simmons hits it over, but a nice dig there by Dow. Pantoa back to Olivia Dow. And they're going to give the point to Flagler. They say it went off the net and not the hands of Jordan Berglund, and I would agree. So it's 22-17. The Saints 3 points away from winning the first set. And like we said, this would be a big one to get started against a formidable Lander opponent. So Berglund on the serve. Gets it overplayed by Miller. Dow. Oh, tricky play there to Holsinger, but Fitzpatrick is ready for it. Lamoureux up to Robert. Played nicely by Ohio. Dow over to Miller. And Berglund gets low, makes a nice play on it. Fitzpatrick setting up Robert. Oh, and it's blocked very nicely by Olivia Dow. And it was a great block there by Robert, but it goes out of bounds. So a nice point there for the Lander Bearcats. They now trail by 4 once again. Katie Miller hits it over, and that's going to be an ace. Berglund let it go thinking it was going out, but that was comfortably inbounds. And, hey, Coach Skylar Lopez thinks it's a good time to call timeout before Lander gets too much momentum. All right, before we go to break, let's thank a couple more of our presenting sponsors. Atlantic Dodge, a proud supporter of Flagler Athletics. If you need to pick up a charger, nowhere better, Atlantic Dodge. In addition, if you need some banking help, South State Bank. Welcome to Banking Forward. And finally, we have a couple more we want to shout out. Capital Financial Strategies, a full-service financial company serving North Florida and South Georgia. And finally, Caldwell Banker Premier Realty, fulfilling the dream of home since 1906. We'll take a timeout here at Flagler Gymnasium. 22-19, the Saints lead here in the first set. All right, folks, we are back here in Flagler Gymnasium and Clark Family Court. 22-19 here in the first set. Flagler leads. And we have Katie Miller on the serve for the Lander Bearcats. Yeah, Katie Miller, the sophomore, like we said, from Sugar City, Idaho. She gets it over nicely to Lamoureux. Robert is going to set it up for Simmons. And Simmons, oh, and it's double hit, and they're going to give the point to Flagler. 23-19, a very nice play by Audrey Simmons. And the Saints are now down to 2 more points, and they will take the first set, but not if the Bearcats have anything to say about it. So Stemkowski hits it over to Pantoa. Dow setting up her sister, and a nice block, but can't get it back over is Robert and Boyd. So that's going to be a point for the Bearcats, 23-20. Here in the first set. Already some early drama in this match. Patricia Pantoa hits it over. Nice play by Bloom. Fitzpatrick, sets it up backwards for Simmons. A nice play there by Miller. They're setting up Ohio, and She's able to kill it home. So another point for the Bearcats. Hey, they've been hanging around all set. Every time Flagler pulls away, they come right back. And now it's a 2-point game here in the first set. 23-21 is the lead for Flagler. Pentoa's serve. Goes to Bloom, and she mishits it into the ground. Unfortunate play there. And the Bearcats just crawling back. And Coach Lopez, he knows it's a real good time for a timeout before they get too much momentum over there on the Lander bench. As you hear the crowd going nuts for Molly Boyd. Hey, we want to thank a couple more of our presenting sponsors. Academy Bus, We Know the Way. A.D. Davis Construction, builders, developers, and contractors. And finally, the Bailey Group. No matter where you want to go, we'll help you get you there. All right, we'll take a timeout here. The score 23-22. Flagler leads here in the first set. All right, Saints fans, we are back here in Flagler Gymnasium, waiting for the referee's signal for Patricia Pentoa to serve. She gives it a few bounces, and she is ready. Played nicely by Bloom. Fitzpatrick over to Robert, and she's just going to free ball that one over. Katie Miller hits it to Dow, to Olivia Dow. And, man, Lauren to Olivia Dow has been money for the Lander Bearcats, and we are all knotted up here at 23 in the first set. And this is what Lander does so well. They're able to go on these runs that other teams are not capable of. When they get hot, they are tough to beat. Lamoureux played very nicely. Fitzpatrick to Simmons, and they're going to call a violation on Flagler, and we are at set point here for the Lander Bearcats as Patricia Pentoa continues this rally she's on. So let's see what Flagler can do. Pentoa hits it over. Lamoureux to Fitzpatrick. Sets up Simmons, and a very nice play by Pentoa. Robert to Fitzpatrick. Back to Robert. And to Pentoa once again. Dow. And Dow hits it to Awayo, and she gets the point. A very soft touch out of the reach of Robert and Lamoureux. And Lander comes back to take the first set 25-23 over the Saints. So Lander takes a 1-0 lead here in Flagler Gymnasium. We're going to take a timeout on the court before we get back to the second set. All right, fans, we're here in the intermission of the first and second sets in Flagler Gymnasium. Wanted to take some time to thank a few more of our presenting sponsors who we love so much. First, we'd like to thank PIP Printing. Achieve your marketing goal with PIP Printing. Hyundai of St. Augustine. When it comes to dreaming big, we're thinking of every mile. Boy, do you love that. Finally, Holiday Inn Express, a personal favorite. Flagler College Athletics official hotel. We'll be back in a moment for the second set here in Flagler Gymnasium. right, fans, we are back here at Flagler Gymnasium for the second set between Lander University and Flagler College. Lander took the first set 25-23, a beautiful comeback sparked by the serving of Patricia Pantoa. And Flagler's going to try and battle their way back here in the second set. Yeah, in the intermission we had Lewis the Lion, the mascot for our Flagler Saints. He was up here. I tried to get him to say something on the broadcast, but all he did was roar, so couldn't really make out what he was saying. But we love having Lewis in the building. We're just about ready to get this second set started. Lander will be the ones to serve. It'll be Lauren Dow, the first one to get us started. The referees give her the signal. And we are ready to go here for the second set as Dow hits it over to Berglund. Fitzpatrick sets her up. Very nice play by Ohio. Dow over to Miller and a beautiful block by Audrey Simmons. Audrey Simmons gets up with a beautiful block, and hey, for the second straight set, the Flagler Saints have the first point. So Jordan Berglund, the leader of this team, will be the one to serve. Once again, number one on the team in kills. So Ohio plays it nicely to Dow, and hey, the Lauren and Olivia Dow combination is lethal for the Lander Bearcats, as there's the first point of their second set, and Katie Miller is back to serve for the Bearcats. Robert plays it nicely to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick to Simmons, and it's blocked by Ohio. Goes out of bounds. Simmons hits it back. Berglund gets it over, just out of bounds. A great effort by Jordan Berglund and Audrey Simmons, and unfortunately just over the line, so it'll be a point for Lander. Here comes Miller on the serve once again. Nicely played by Berglund. They set it up for Robert, and it's going out of bounds. Now saved by Miller and Dow, and they get it cleanly over to Edie Lamoureux. Nice play by Stemkowski, but blocked very nicely by Lander. And Olivia Dow, my goodness, a great dig by Berglund, and Fitzpatrick plays it nicely to Lamoureux. Berglund's just going to have to get it over, and they're going to say that's barely out of bounds. It was out of the reach of Katie Miller. You thought maybe it'll catch that corner. Just barely out of bounds, though. And hey, we're seeing a big impact here from number 10, Michaela Willingham, for the Lander Bearcats, the senior on this team, standing 6 foot from Beaufort, South Carolina. So Lamoureux over to Fitzpatrick. Robert hits it nicely, and it hits off the hand of Patricia Pantoa. And that's lucky for Flagler. They're going to get their second point of the second set. So it'll be Colby Stemkowski, the junior from Altamonte Springs, Florida, transfer from St. Leo University. Pantoa plays it nicely. Dow over to her sister, blocked. And Stemkowski not able to get over fast enough after Robert was able to hit it up in the air. So Edie Lamoureux, the libero, will come back into the game, and we'll see Patricia Pantoa on the serve. Pantoa gets it over. Nice play by Berglund. Fitzpatrick setting up Robert. Oh, a nice dig there by Katie Miller. Pantoa setting up. Oh, Wyo couldn't get it over the net. That's a free point for the Flagler Saints. They'll take it. And they now trail 4-3 here in the second set as Lainey Mack checks back into the game. The refs give Mack the signal. She is just about ready to go, and here we go. Miller plays it nicely to Dow. Set up very nicely to Penaflor, and Miller cannot save it. Ohio can't hit it over. A lot of hustle for the Bearcats. But fortunately, it's a point for the Saints, and we are all knotted up at 4 here in the second set. Max spinning the ball on her finger. She's ready to go. Hits it with that left hand. Miller plays it to Dow. And Ohio, oh, a beautiful dig by Edie Lamoureux, and Max setting up Robert. But a nice block. Miller plays it beautifully. Dow over to her sister. Hits it softly over, but played very nicely by Fitzpatrick. We have a very nice rally here as the free ball goes over. Lamoureux. Oh, Fitzpatrick thought she had it. Blocked beautifully by Blondie Penaflor, and that's going to give the Bearcats a 5-4 lead here in the second set. So it'll be Sophia Schneider on the serve here. We saw a lot of her in the first set. Bearcats up 5-4. Oh, and mishit it. You could tell she knew it right as she hit it. Mishit and doesn't even get to the net. So, hey, there's a serve assist here in the second set. Free point for the Bearcats. And Cecilia Robert will be the one to serve. Robert played nicely by Miller. Dow. Oh, my goodness. What a shot by Blondie Penaflor. Dow set her up beautifully. Penaflor just fits it softly into the corner. Nothing the Flagler defense could do about that. That's just a beautiful shot. So we'll see Christina Awayo on the serve as the Bearcats lead by 1. Gets it on over, played nicely by Berglund. Mack setting it up for Boyd. Just barely out of bounds. She thought she was placing it into the corner, and it just barely misses. And so that's going to be a point for Lander. They now lead 7-5, and Awayo once again will be on the serve. Awayo gets it over. Oh, Lamoureux. Hey, she got some help from the basketball hoop there, and Berglund's just going to fire it over. Dow to Miller. Mack. Robert with the save. Can Lamoureux get it over? She can. Penaflor. Oh, and Blondie Penaflor. She's going on a little run here. Not much you can do about that much power on the kill. And the Bearcats going on a nice little run here, courtesy of the serving of Christina Awayo and the dominance up front of Blondie Penaflor. Just barely gets over. Robert plays it nicely. Yeah, and there's Molly Boyd. The first time we've said her name today. And the crowd's going nuts for Molly Boyd in between each set. Palpable energy here in Flagler Gymnasium. The crowd is electric. So it'll be Edie Lamoureux on the serve. The junior all the way from New Braunfels, Texas. And Katie Miller's just going to barely get that one over. Berglund plays it to Mack. Stemkowski, oh, nice play by Pinto. Oh, and yes, it's a point for the Saints. Miller hit it hard, but it just barely is out of bounds. And the lead is cut to 1. So Edie Lamoureux on the serve. Hits it to Awayo. It rattles around in the rafters, but it's played nicely by Dow. Lamoureux with the dig. Mack to Stemkowski with the kill. And we are all knotted up at 8 here in the second set. It's a game of runs. We saw Awayo serving, got them about 3 or 4 points, and now Lamoureux gets them right back. Knotted up at 8. Nice play by Awayo. And they're going to give the point to Lander. They're going to say 3 Saints hit that before it went over. We'll see Blondie Penaflor serve for the first time here in the second set. Nicely played by Berglund. Mack to Stemkowski, played by Awayo. And Awayo's just going to free ball that one over. Robert to Mack to Berglund. Beautifully placed, and there's a point for the Saints to tie it back up 9-9 off the hands of Blondie Penaflor. And now we'll get Amelia Fitzpatrick to be the one serving. Oh, powerful serve from Fitzpatrick. Dow hits it over to Miller. Oh, nearly blocked, but she's able to fit it in there. And we now have a 10-9 game. The Bearcats lead. So this set's been a little more back and forth. You saw Flagler get out to that lead there in the first set, and Lander had to fight their way back with about 6 straight points to win the first set. This one, they've been trading points back and forth. So we see Lauren Dow on the serve. Nicely played by Berglund. Fitzpatrick back to Berglund. And it's played by Dow right into the net. And hey, back and forth once again. The Saints tie us up at 10. So it'll be Jordan Berglund on the serve. She is ready to go. Here we go. Pantoa plays it up for Dow. Dow to her sister. Oh, that was too easy. Finds the crease in the defense. And there's nothing you can do defensively there. No one's going to be quick enough to catch that shot. So 11-10, still a back-and-forth match here in the second set as Katie Miller will be the one to serve. Miller hits it to Lamoureux. Fitzpatrick setting up Simmons. Nicely played by Miller. Oh, good hustle by Jordan Berglund. And that sets up Robert. Oh, and my goodness, this is back and forth. A nice little rally and beautifully played by Audrey Simmons. She tricks everybody in the gymnasium. Everyone thought she was going up strong with that and just lightly tapped it over the defense. Once again, knotted up, this time 11-11. The Saints and the Bearcats are tied. So Colby Stemkowski will be the one to serve. Hits it to Pantoa. Dow. Oh, and a very nice shot by Michaela Willingham. We've said her name a couple times. She has been a force on the front line for the Bearcats. So back to Patricia Pantoa, the one serving. The libero for Lander. Robert hits it a little hard, but played nicely by Fitzpatrick. And Robert, so much power on that kill. And we are tied up again, 12-12 right now. And they are just trading points this second set. You're just waiting for someone to break away. Neither team will let the other gain any momentum. Maybe it's Lainey Mack, the spark plug, coming in. And Katie Miller plays it nicely. Dow to Olivia Dow. Oh, and it barely gets over. And oh, a weird play. Boyd's able to barely get it over. And this time they're going to set her up. And it's blocked out of bounds. The point goes to the Saints. And now they're up 13-12. They finally get into the lead. 2 straight points for the Saints. We haven't seen that in a while in this second set. Lainey Mack, calm, cool, and collected, the one to serve. Gets it over, and that might have been going out, but Dow played it anyways. Miller hits it over, played by Robert, and a miscommunication between Boyd and Edie Lamoureux leads to a point for Lander. So, once again, we are back to all knotted up, this time at 13. Hey, anything can happen in Peach Belt Conference play. Schneider on the serve. Oh, and misplayed by Boyd and Robert. Robert wasn't down fast enough. I think she thought Boyd was going to take it, and Boyd stepped away just a little too late. And now the Bearcats get 2 in a row. They're up by 1. Robert, oh, Mack hits it into the net. Just almost got it over. Hey, that's 3 in a row for the Bearcats. They're going on a little run here, and this is what you were waiting for, somebody to gain momentum either way, as we were going back and forth this entire set. So Schneider gets it over to Robert. Robert to Mack, back to Robert. Nicely played by Pantoa, and Boyd is just going to get up. She doesn't need it set to her. She's just going to kill it into the Lander defense. And it is 15-14, the lead for Lander now. Yeah, Molly Boyd, 3rd on the team in kills coming into tonight's match. She is 104 entering play today, trailing only Jordan Berglund and Cecilia Robert. So Brooke Singleton on the serve. And they're going to say it went out. Blondie Penaflor thought she snuck it in there. She was not able to. And we're tied up at 15. So Brooke Singleton will serve once again. Brooke Singleton, an academic all-conference player back in 2022. So congrats to her. Hey, putting the student in student athlete. And Pantoa having a word with the officials here. I don't think they were in agreement, but, hey, we'll play on. 15-15 here in the second set. Here comes Singleton. Gets it over, played by Pantoa. Dow. Over to Ohio. Nicely played by Singleton. Mack. Over to Fitzpatrick. Beautiful play by Dow. And a nice block there by the Flagler defense. And Dow trips and barely gets a hand on it, but can't get any power under it. And the Saints retake the lead at 16-15 here in the second set. So a nice little rally here for Brooke Singleton on the serve. We mentioned she's an academic all-conference player back in 2022. Also a two-time Peach Belt Conference Presidential Honor Roll Gold Scholar. So, hey, hats off to her. Not easy being this good of an athlete and that good in the classroom. Very nicely done by Brooke Singleton. Had a little delay there, but we're back. Singleton on the serve. Pantoa over to Dow. Sets up Ohio. That could not have been placed any better. Right into the back left corner on the near side. And we're all knotted up at 16 here in the second set. So this time we have Christina Ohio on the serve. And she hits it into the net. That's the second or third serving error we've seen this set from the Lander Bearcats. They usually do not give away points like that. But if you're the Flagler Saints, you will take it. 17-16, they're in the lead with Edie Lamoureux now serving. Powerful serve, played nicely by Ohio. Dow sets it up to Penaflor. Nicely played by Singleton off the ceiling. Lamoureux plays it nicely, and Berglund's just going to get it over. Ohio over to Dow to Miller, and Singleton again. Oh, and it hits off the ceiling. Lamoureux wasn't able to save it that time, and once again knotted up, this time at 17. And once again, we'll have Blondie Penaflor on the serve. Penaflor hits it. Oh, Berglund knew it was going out right as she hit it. And there's a point for the Lander Bearcats. So we see Michaela Willingham on the front line for Lander. That's someone to watch off the bench for them. Like we said earlier, she has been a force to be reckoned with on the front lines. And this time, Penaflor too strong on the serve. Hits it out of bounds, and we're knotted up at 18. So Audrey Simmons checks back into the game. Thinking her and Stemkowski can counter the front line of Dow and Willingham. So Fitzpatrick on the serve. Hits it to Ohio. Dow over to Miller, and that is nothing you can do about that if you're Edie Lamoureux. A beautiful kill by Katie Miller. So we'll see Lauren Dow on the serve now. Dow gets it over, played by Singleton. Fitzpatrick over to Berglund. She gets up. And a nice kill there by Jordan Berglund, number one on the team for a reason. Yeah, she had 183 coming into play tonight. And hey, assisted by who else? Amelia Fitzpatrick, number one on the team in assists at 249 coming into play. So Berglund, Ohio misplays it, but Dow is able to cover it. Oh, and Dow saves it, hits it to her sister. And Miller not able to get it over, blocked by Robert. And the Saints take a 20-19 lead here in the second set. And we'll see Jordan Berglund on the serve once again. We're thinking if Flagler scores here, we may see a timeout from Coach Jeff Reynolds to stop any momentum they can get. Dow to her sister. Oh, hit softly over. That was fantastic. And, hey, you have to respect it. When she can kill it as hard as she can, you got to kind of go all out playing defense, and Dow knows it. She hit it softly over the defense. Beautiful point for the Bearcats. All knotted up at 20 here in the second set. Katie Miller on the serve. Robert hits it all the way over to Simmons. Back to Robert. Nice block there by Willingham. And Fitzpatrick's just going to have to get it over. Dow setting up Willingham, and there she is. We said she was going to be a name to watch. And she gives the Bearcats a 21-20 lead here late in the second set. So the first set, like we said, Flagler had the lead the majority of the time. This one back and forth as Robert goes up blocked. Nice play by Stemkowski simply to get it over. Olivia Dow blocked, and Willingham hits it out of bounds. And it's all knotted up once again, 21-21. All right, and Ella Wicker checks into the game for Flagler. Haven't seen much of her today. Gets it over to Pantoa. Dow to Willingham. Nicely played by Fitzpatrick. Simmons gets set up and just gets under it a little too much. Hits it out of bounds. And the Bearcats regain the lead at 22-21. So Patricia Pantoa, the libero, on the serve. Bounces it a few times, ready to go, hits it on over. Berglund has to get low, just barely hits it. A nice play by Robert defensively. And Simmons, couldn't tell from our angle at first. She hits it right into Penaflor. And that's going to be a point for the Saints, all knotted up at 22. Lainey Mack, number 2 on the team in assists. She will be the one to serve now for the Saints. Yeah, her and Fitzpatrick, the 2 freshmen, combining for nearly 500 assists so far this year. As Dow sets it up for Awayo. Played easily by Lamoureux, and Berglund. Oh my goodness, what a play by Katie Miller to just save that and get it over. Lainey Mack sets up Boyd. Oh, just barely out of bounds. And the Bearcats take a 23-22 lead. Hey, still no timeouts this set. Both teams just wanted to see who's going to be the one to end up with the lead here at the end of this set. Sophia Schneider serves it over. Robert to Mack. Back to Robert. Oh, just barely out of bounds. And it is 24-22 set point here for the Lander Bearcats. And there it is. Skylar Lopez is going to call the timeout for the Flagler Saints. And as we see her here on the replay, Robert, beautiful point there for the Saints. So while we take this timeout, it's getting close to dinner time. If you're hungry for dinner, boy, do we have some good options for you. Applebee's, there's no place like the neighborhood. Applebee's currently has half-price appetizers, so be on the lookout for that if you want to stop by the neighborhood. In addition, Chick-fil-A, a personal favorite. Eat more chicken at Chick-fil-A. Carmelo's, delivering old world quality only at Carmelo's. Hey, pizza, deli, and subs, it does not get much better than that. Finally, Carrabba's, so close you can taste it. So you can hear in the background, Lewis the Lion trying to fire up this crowd. He's got his little drum. Passing it around. Boy, I hope he comes up to me. But he just hasn't yet. So, Sophia Schneider will be the one to serve for the Bearcats. Trying to close out this set. Not if the Flagler Saints have anything to say about it. Played nicely by Berglund. Mack sets it up for Fitzpatrick, and it's blocked by Blondie Penaflor. And that'll win set number 2 for the Lander Bearcats. They go up 2-0 by a score of 25-22. Man, Flagler's right there this entire match. Just can't seem to get over that hump. So 25-22, now a 2-0 score overall. Lander is in the lead. And we'll take a timeout here from Flagler Gymnasium. Once again, the score 2-0. Lander leads. All right, fans, we're here in the intermission between sets 2 and 3 in Flagler Gymnasium. You hear the beautiful singing voice of my good friend Kendrick Lamar. While we're waiting, we want to thank a few more of our brilliant presenting sponsors. B&S Signs, quality signage and service. When it comes to signs, we do it all. Ameris Bank, savings for the expected or unexpected. In addition, Birchall & Company, find your home today thanks to Birchall & Company. Evans Automotive, quality work at a fair price, only at Evans Automotive. Flagler Hospital, excellence as a way of life. Finally, Hero of Florida, your partner for the complete equipment lifestyle. All right, we'll be back in a second here at Flagler Gymnasium for the third set between Flagler and Lander. All right, fans, getting back here, preparing for the third set between the Flagler Saints and the Lander Bearcats. Lander leads 2-0 to go into the third set, looking to win their 15th straight match. Unheard of. They are dominating the Peach Belt Conference. Hey, before we go further, I'm getting hungry. I don't know about you. And if you're hungry, we have a few options for you. Stop into Pizza Lee's Chianti Room for the true Italian food connoisseur. Fish bites, set the hook. 5-star pizza. Hey, big fan of 5-star pizza. They are bigger, better, and faster. All three things you need out of pizza. Jersey Mike's Sub, a sub above. Only from Jersey Mike's Sub. Salt Life, eat, drink, and be salty. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmaster since 1968. We don't just serve barbecue, we are barbecue. Boy, that is some real dedication. Thank you to Sonny's and all of our presenting sponsors. So just about set here for the third set as the girls have flipped sides. Lander back where they started, Flagler back where they started. Hey, you got to be encouraged if you're a Saints fan. They have been right there with one of the best teams that you're going to face all year. And really the only difference has been a total of 5 points. And Flagler had them where they wanted them in the first set and then just couldn't garner a lead in the second set, as that was very back and forth. But a team like Lander, they know how to close. So we'll start off this third set with Amelia Fitzpatrick on the serve. The freshman from Ocala, Florida, ready to go. And we're off for the third set. Pantoa up to Dow. And a very nice block by Jordan Berglund. The first point of the set goes to the Saints. Hey, 3 straight sets where the Saints have led off 1-0, this time courtesy of Jordan Berglund. So Fitzpatrick once again will be on the serve after a quick first point. Oh, and over hits it just a bit. It looks like she got under it a bit, and it goes out of bounds. So there's the first point for the Bearcats here in set 3. Lauren Dow on the serve for the Bearcats. Hey, we see a freshman lead it off for Flagler and a freshman lead it off for Lander. Dow, Berglund played nicely. Fitzpatrick back to Berglund, and she gets it over despite the efforts of Annie Holsinger. So So very nice job by Jordan Berglund. This is where they're going to need her to make some big plays. She is their superstar. And a nice serve over. Dow. Oh, very tricky play by Dow, but Berglund's ready for it. Free balls it over. And Dow to Dow. My goodness, that was powerful. Robert saves it. Lamoureux gets it over. Oh, my goodness, what a play by Robert. Berglund. Fitzpatrick. Robert. Oh, my goodness, the Flagler Saints. The hustle is just incredible, and they're still going. Lamoureux to Robert, and Flagler with the point. My goodness. It was Robert on one side, Fitzpatrick on the other, Lamoureux getting it over. My goodness, what a point for the Flagler Saints. That was incredible. And that's the type of point you're going to need to stay in a game against the Lander Bearcats. 3-1 now here on the third set, as Jordan Berglund will still be the one to serve. Berglund gets it over. Oh, just a little too much on that one. Second time we've seen that from Flagler. Probably just a little excited here in the third set, especially after that last point. My goodness, that was incredible. That's a highlight reel play. So Katie Miller on the serve, gets it over to Lamoureux. Oh, and almost too easy for Christina Owayo. And we're all knotted up at 3 here in the third set. So Miller, the sophomore outside hitter, she will be the one to serve. Played nicely by Lamoureux. Fitzpatrick setting up Simmons as it's deflected. Played easily by Dow. Olivia Dow this time hits it right to Berglund. Oh, my goodness. And miscommunication between the Saints up front, and nobody went to play that ball. So an easy point there for the Bearcats. Makes it 4-3 here in the third set. So Katie Miller still on the serve. She's got a powerful serve, a line drive. Robert's figured out how to play it, though, and they're going to set her up. Oh, fired into Pantoa. Dow's ready for it. Miller as it's deflected. Robert to Lamoureux. And Simmons, oh, just out of bounds. And another point for Lander. So 4 straight points for the Bearcats. Take them from trailing 3-1 to now leading 5-3. Katie Miller still serving. She gets it on over. Robert. Oh, Stemkowski and Berglund's just going to have to fire that one over. She does. Pantoa, Dow. And they're going to say she reached over. Point Saints. As the ever-creative "You Can't Do That" chants break out here in Flagler Gymnasium. As it's 5-4, the Bearcats currently lead the Saints. And now the first time we're seeing the freshman Gracie Fleming into the game for the Saints. Gracie Fleming, like we said, a freshman from Denver, Colorado. And that point's going to go to Lander, so 6-4 as Fleming checks out. It'll be Patricia Pantoa all the way from Barceloneta, Puerto Rico. Happy to have her here in St. Augustine. Oh, what an ace. Very nicely placed by Pantoa. And the Bearcats are starting to heat up. It's now 7-4, and they're doing their little leg dance. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe an Irish jig, but I'm not familiar. So we'll just call it the leg dance. As Pantoa, that is a much-needed point for Flagler on the serving error. Hits it right into the net. And the Saints now trail 7-5 as Lainey Mack checks back into the game. Now we've seen them go on runs whenever Lainey Mack comes into the game as she spins the ball in her hand. The southpaw hits it over. Pantoa to Dow. Dow to Miller. Oh, and Lamoureux let it go. It was a smart move. It looked like it was going out just barely into the corner. And, hey, we've seen the Bearcats do that time and time again tonight. They just really make you question what you should do defensively with these perfectly placed shots. And we'll see Sophia Schneider on the serve. Robert gets low, plays it nicely. Mack to Boyd, and my goodness, Blondie Penaflor up front. That was fantastic. Skylar Lopez has seen enough. He's going to call a timeout. Bearcats lead the Saints 9-5 here in the third set. Before we let you go, we want to thank another few of our presenting sponsors. Mowry Law Firm, proud supporter of Flagler Athletics. New Day Design Company for all your architectural needs. Noah Bailey Group, a proud sponsor of Flagler College Athletics. Holmes & Brockle Business Interiors. Make space for more with Holmes & Brockle. And finally, Spartan Orthopedic Institute, sports medicine and robotic surgery. Oh, they're doing surgery for robots now. What a time to be alive. Hey, we'll be right back here in Flagler Gymnasium. The score 9-5 here in the third set. Lander leads overall 2-0. All right, so back here in the third set. Like we said, Flagler trails 9-5 at the moment. And Sophia Schneider once again will be on the serve. Gets it over, played nicely by Mack. Lamoureux over to Fitzpatrick, hits it softly. Easy play for Dow. Pantoa to Awayo, blocked by Molly Boyd and Amelia Fitzpatrick. And the Saints, with a much-needed point out of that timeout, now trail 6-9. So Brooks Singleton back into the game to serve for the Saints. Singleton gets it over. Schneider just barely gets a hand on it. Dow to Miller. Powerful shot just over the line. And that's another point for the Saints. So, hey, they've been letting a lot of those go, and the Bearcats are fitting them in there. Not that one. A great read there by Singleton. It's now 9-7, the Bearcats lead. Schneider nicely played Dow to Penaflor, and, man, Penaflor aging like a fine wine, it feels like. She's gotten better as the match has gone on. And she has been unstoppable up front for the Bearcats. Not much the Saints can do about that. So Christina Awayo on the serve. Hits it hard into the net. And another serving error for Lander. You don't see much of that from them. And Flagler hanging around, down by 2 here in the third set by a score of 10-8. And they'll have Edie Lamoureux on the serve. So Lamoureux, oh, and it's misplayed by Awayo. And there's a nice ace from Lamoureux. That is a huge point. Makes it a 1-point game here in the third set. Yeah, Edie Lamoureux, 4th in digs per set in the Peach Belt Conference, excuse me. And Schneider getting low there. Dow over to Miller. Oh, nicely played by Lamoureux. Mack back to Berglund, and it's deflected off of Penaflor, goes out of bounds. And we are all tied up here at 10. Hey, that last time out, we have to give Skylar Lopez some credit. Stop the bleeding there and sets it up nicely so the Saints can come back here in the third set. Lamoureux hits it over. Nicely played by Awayo. Dow over to Penaflor. A little too hard. It goes out of bounds. And Flagler now leads in this set 11-10. Lamoureux, the team leader in digs. Hits it to Awayo. Dow to Penaflor. Oh, my goodness. What a play by Edie Lamoureux. Fitzpatrick softly over. Oh, it's nicely played, and Penaflor just barely gets it over. Dow up to Awayo. Nicely played by Mack. Gets it over. And that was almost too easy for Lauren Dow. A lot of good defense there from the Saints and from the Bearcats, as we saw Patricia Pantoa get low to save that point for them. And, hey, back and forth once again. We're all knotted up at 11. So the serve there from Candace Livingston. First time we've called her name today. The ball gets back to the Bearcats. Miller, nicely played by Singleton. Fitzpatrick softly over. They were ready for it, though, was Awayo. Very nice play by Gracie Fleming just to get that one over. Sophia Schneider, my goodness. So much power behind that one. And hits it right at the feet of Brooke Singleton. So Candace Livingston, the freshman from Columbia, South Carolina, once again will serve. Haven't seen much of her today, but hey, off to a good start for the Lander Bearcats. Easy play for Lamoureux. Mack over to Berglund. Played by Singleton to Mack to Fitzpatrick. Easy play for Dow. Ohio over to Miller. Just out of the reach of Brooke Singleton, and another point for the Lander Bearcats as they now lead 13-11 here in the third set. So once again, it's Livingston on the serve. The lefty is ready. Lamoureux digs it out. Mack. Berglund right to Schneider. Nice block by Berglund. And that is a much-needed point. Stop the bleeding when you can. And who else? She always delivers when Flagler needs her most. Jordan Berglund with a huge point for the Saints. And Fitzpatrick, as her teammates lay on the ground with the binoculars. Fitzpatrick ready to go. Powerful serve. Pantoja plays it nice. And Miller, my goodness, she is going off in this third set, hitting it right at the feet of Brooke Singleton once again. Not much you can do about that. A powerful kill there. So Lauren Dow once again on the serve for Lander. Gets it over. Oh, just out of the reach of Jordan Berglund. A very nicely placed serve for Lauren Dow. And Skylar Lopez is going to call a timeout. It's 15-12. The Bearcats lead the Saints here in the third set. The Saints trying to extend this match. Lander trying to go home a little early. Hey, before we let you go, I want to thank a few more of our sponsors. St. Augustine Marina. Hey, I've used St. Augustine Marina. It is phenomenal. For all your boating and fishing needs, St. Augustine Marina. St. John's Family Funeral Home and Crematory. Services unique as life. Stellar Group, taking solutions further. Sunshine Realty, for all of your real estate needs. Taylor and Waldrop, St. Augustine Lawyers, backed by experience. Gotta love having experience. And finally, Anchor Faith, a community of people passionate about Jesus. We'll take a timeout here. We'll be back in a second. And well, the timeout's actually already done, so we will not go anywhere. We'll be ready for the third set to continue here in St. Augustine. You got to wonder if Lander took a bus here or not. If they wanted to fly in, you could always use the Northeast Florida Regional Airport, the smart choice for all your air travel needs. So Lauren Dow on the serve. Nicely played by Berglund. Fitzpatrick back to Jordan. And it's played off of Olivia Dow and goes out of bounds for a huge Saints point. Skylar Lopez pushing all the right buttons, it seems like. Every time he's called a timeout, it has been much needed, and the Saints come out firing right after. So Jordan Berglund on the serve. Tricia Pantoja up to Lauren Dow. Olivia Dow, softly over, but a nice play by Simmons. Robert hit off of Dow. This one to Lauren Dow. Katie Miller, and it's blocked beautifully by Audrey Simmons. As the Flagler bench goes nuts for that point. And it is back to a one-point game, 15-14. Lander is in the lead. We have a ball in the court. Don't want anyone tripping on that. That is a surefire way to sprain an ankle. As Berglund now with the serve. Awayo to Dow. And a beautiful play by Berglund. Robert, just barely doesn't get over. Rides along the top of the net, and there's a point for the Bearcats. They extend their lead back to 2, and we'll see Katie Miller now on the serve. So Miller's serve goes to Berglund. Fitzpatrick, a little low. Simmons able to get it over. Dow setting it up for Holsinger. And they're going to give the point to Lander. Looked like it was right on the line. couldn't really tell either way, and that's a big point either way. And this one goes to Lander. So Katie Miller, she has been money serving for Lander today. And right on cue, I jinxed her as that ball goes right into the net. And there's a free point for the Saints on the serving error by Katie Miller. So we see Ella Wicker check back into the game. She will be the one to serve. 17-15, Lander leads here in the third set. Wicker's serve goes, oh, a beautiful serve right on the line, and Ohio barely hit it. Didn't really know how to play that, and she hits it right into the ground. That's an easy point for Ella Wicker. It's now 17-16, the Saints trail. So Wicker's serve goes right to Penteo. Holsinger, off of Wicker's hands. A powerful kill there by Annie Holsinger. And Ella Wicker did all she could with it as Colby Stemkowski and Edie Lamoureux. Stemkowski checks out. We see Edie Lamoureux back in the game. So Robert plays it nicely. They're going to go back to Robert. Nice dig there by Pantoa. And my goodness, Katie Miller everywhere. Even on the ground gets it over. And Molly Boyd into the hands of Lauren Dow. Olivia Dow this time played nicely by Fitzpatrick. Simmons hits it out. Very well read by Lauren Dow. And the Bearcats take a 19-16 lead here late in the third set. Hey, it's crunch time for Flagler. Got to go on a mini run here. Stop this bleeding and give yourself a chance to extend this match. Lamoureux digs it out. Fitzpatrick over to Robert. Oh, beautifully played by Robert after the block. Simmons, Fitzpatrick, Robert. Oh, very nicely placed, but an even better play by Katie Miller. Christina Ohio, nice play by Lamoureux. And Berglund's just going to send it over. Pantoa plays it. Ohio blocked. Beautiful block by Audrey Simmons. And a huge point for the Flagler Saints. A huge difference between trailing by 4 and trailing by 2. That was very clutch from Audrey Simmons. So it'll be Lainey Mack back serving for the Saints. Gets it over. Miller plays it nicely. Penaflor, but nicely dug out by Edie Lamoureux. Oh, my goodness. Blondie Penaflor. Robert went up high. Not a powerful shot right into the arms of Blondie Penaflor, and that ball went directly into the ground. So nice point there by Lander as they now lead 20-17 late in the third set. Sophia Schneider on the serve. Hits it out of bounds. Nicely read there by Robert and Berglund. And once again, the lead is now back to 2 for Lander. Brooke Singleton back in the game to serve for the Saints. Here comes Singleton. It's a Schneider. She didn't mean to hit it over, it looked like, but she does. And Molly Boyd on the assist from Lainey Mack. And the Bearcats' lead is trimmed down to 1. It feels like every time Brooke Singleton's been the one serving, good things have happened. So, hey, let's see if that will continue. Schneider kind of mishit it again. You don't know what's going on with her. And she hits it out. So Sophia Schneider hits it out twice in a row. And we are all knotted up at 20. This was the run that Flagler needed, but you don't want it to stop here. Singleton, very nice. Pantoa to Dow to Ohio. And Berglund was ready for the soft touch shot. Oh, my goodness, Fitzpatrick with a lot of power, but played beautifully on defense. And, placed beautifully right under the hands of Brooke Singleton. Not much you can do about that. Just split the defense very nicely. And we'll see Christina Ohio on the serve for the Bearcats. Ohio over, played nicely by Lamoureux. Mack to Berglund. Oh, and it's hits off the ceiling. Played nicely by Pantoa, and Schneider is able to get it over. They're going to go to Berglund again, and that's a huge point for Berglund. Assisted by who else? Lainey Mack. And while everyone's celebrating Edie Lamoureux, very calm, getting ready to serve. Knows there's still work to be done here in the third set. 21-21. Lamoureux and Schneider hits it up. Dow to Miller. And Laney Mack hits it off the hands, almost hits our own Jordan Taylor there at the scorer's table, but just misses her head. So we'll see Candace Livingston check back into the match. The lefty on the serve for Lander. 3 points away from an easy victory. Berglund, very nice by Jordan Berglund. Hey, she has been very clutch in this third set. We are all tied up at 22 as Amelia Fitzpatrick will be the one to serve, and the girls on the bench get on the ground and put on the binoculars. Ohio plays it nicely. Dow to Miller. Ball goes up in the air. Berglund plays it nicely. Fitzpatrick. And it goes out of bounds off the hands of Schneider. And that's a Saints point, makes it 23-22. And it feels like at this point in the first two sets, this is where the Bearcats were scoring. It's kind of flipped here. The Saints trying to go on a little run to close out this set and extend the match. Dow to Holsinger. And it goes off the hands of Stemkowski out of bounds and all tied up again. This time 23-23. Boy, what a match. Each set has been very close, within 3 points every time. And that's a testament to how well Flagler's playing. Like we've said numerous times, this is an 18-2 Lander team. Fitzpatrick to Berglund. And it's going to go out of bounds. Very nice play by Berglund. A much-needed point makes it 24-23. And it's set point here for the Saints. They can extend this match with just one more point. And a timeout's called by Lander. He doesn't want to go to a fourth set, does Jeff Reynolds, the head coach. So they're going to talk it over. Before we go to a quick break here, I want to thank a few more of our wonderful sponsors. 93 King, alumni-owned two-bedroom cottage, just 53 steps from campus. I bet I could get there in 52. And another one, 123 Burger House, grillin' and chillin' at 123 Burger House. Hey, may stop in there on the way home. The McLeod Firm, Florida personal injury attorneys you can depend on. Sniffen and Spellman, PA, a full-service law firm representing clients statewide. UBS Financial, pursue what matters most to you for today, tomorrow, and generations to come. And finally, Vested Metals. We are a customer-centric and solution-based metal supplier. All right, as we're back here at Flagler Gymnasium, we hear the trumpets, courtesy of Timmy Trumpets, over the loudspeaker. Lewis the Lion dancing along. He is loving this atmosphere here at Clark Family Court at Flagler Gymnasium. Hey, 24-23, the Saints lead this set. The match overall is led by Lander 2-0. They're looking to close it out. They want to go home after this set. They do not want to extend it, especially with how Flagler's played today. Hey, they're going up toe-to-toe with one of the best teams, or probably the best team in the Peach Belt Conference. And the fingers go up here in Flagler Gymnasium. Berglund serve. Oh, and a very nice read by Christina Awayo as the ball goes directly out of bounds. She lets it go past her, and we're all knotted up at 24. Katie Miller. It's it on over. Nicely played by Berglund. Robert. Over to Simmons. Oh, a nice play by Miller. They're just going to get it over. Lamoureux saves it. Fitzpatrick to Robert. Oh, nice play by Miller. No, and it goes off the ceiling. And Pantoa almost does a flip there, going for it, just out of her reach. A huge break for the Saints, and we are back to set point, 25-24. Ella Wickers checking into the game. She'll try and serve this one to win it for the Saints. Wicker hits it over. Nicely played by Miller. Dow to Awayo, and it's off of Ella Wicker's hand and out of bounds, and the third set will continue. It's 25-25, and Pantoa will be the one to serve. this match has been electric, and this third set no different. Pantoa to Berglund. Lamoureux setting up Robert. Hits it over. Oh, a nice play by Pantoa. And Olivia Dow hits it over the net, but out of bounds. Robert saw it right away. And Flagler retakes the lead 26-25. It is once again set point for the Flagler Saints. And if you're a Saints fan, you love seeing Lainey Mack on the serve. Oh, but she just barely misses it. A very nice read there. Katie Miller dialed in for the Lander Bearcats. And we're all knotted up again. We'll do it again. Sophia Schneider on the serve. Gets it over. Robert to Mack. Sets up Molly Boyd. Miller was ready for it. Owayo hits it off of Boyd. Boyd gets it over. Pantoa to Owayo again. And Lamoureux with a very nice play. Berglund back to Robert, and Schneider was ready for it. And Penaflor gets it over. Fitzpatrick ready for that one. Robert, Schneider, Dow. Oh, tricky play. Boyd, Robert, Mack. Oh, my goodness. This is a great rally. Oh, and Pantoa sets it up for Penaflor. And the Lander Bearcats take a late lead here, 27-26 here in the third set. And now it's match point for the Bearcats. Schneider gets it over. Robert. To Mack. Back to Robert. Oh, nicely played by Schneider. Dow to Owayo. Robert's ready for it. Mack. Oh, tricky play there. Berglund able to play it. Mack to Fitzpatrick. Oh, my goodness. And Robert gets it over, and it's out of bounds. And that's how this match will come to a close. My goodness, what a duel between Lander University and the Saints of Flagler. Flagler just went toe-to-toe with the cream of the crop in the Peach Belt Conference. And my goodness, they only lost by a total of 7 points. Formidable showing by Flagler, but Lander's able to get the victory 3-0 in 3 sets. So they will improve to 19-2 overall, now 6-0 in Peach Belt Conference play. And Flagler falls to 5-13 overall, 3-4 in conference play. So once again, final score 3-0 following the 28-26 third set score. Lander wins this one here in Flagler Gymnasium. On behalf of myself, Jordan Taylor, Laurel Plexico, we'd like to say thank you for joining us here at Clark Family Court in Flagler Gymnasium. It's been a pleasure to be with you tonight. So long, and everybody, have a great night.